Welcome back to Project Aviate. Today we step into the world of one of the most legendary aircraft in aviation history, the MiG-21. This jet is not just a machine of war, but for many pilots it became a symbol of both precious memories and unmatched power in their lives. From the first sight of its delta wings glinting at sunrise on a military airbase, the MiG-21 stands as a timeless icon. Imagine walking across the tarmac in the early morning light, the air cool, the sky painted with soft shades of orange, and the sleek metallic body of the MiG-21 waiting like a silent predator ready to leap into the sky. For pilots, this moment was more than just duty, it was a calling, a bond with the jet that defined their careers and in many ways, their lives. Stepping closer to the cockpit, the heart of this aircraft reveals itself. The instruments, dials, and switches glow faintly in the dim light, each one carrying the weight of countless missions. For the pilot, placing their helmet on the seat before climbing in was a ritual, a small moment of respect to the machine that could either carry them safely home or never return at all. That cockpit, though tight and minimal, became a second home. Every scratch on the canopy, every flickering needle, told the story of battles fought and training endured. Now picture the pilot walking towards the jet, helmet tucked under their arm, flight suit rustling in the wind, the sky behind them darkening with storm clouds or lighting up with dawn. This image captures the essence of what it meant to be a MiG-21 pilot: courage, discipline, and an unshakable bond with a machine that was both a weapon and a companion. For many, this short walk across the runway was one of the most powerful moments in their career, the few seconds before strapping in and leaving the world behind. Then the roar begins. The MiG-21 powers up, and as it races down the runway, the afterburner ignites with a furious flame, lighting up the air behind it. This was raw power, a force of speed and aggression that gave the MiG-21 its reputation as a deadly and iconic fighter. The takeoff itself was a moment of adrenaline for every pilot, as the jet lifted away from the ground with a burst of unmatched energy. In that instant, man and machine became one, climbing into the skies to face whatever awaited beyond the horizon. From above, the MiG-21 cut across landscapes with a sharp silhouette, flying low over fields or high above the clouds. Its design made it both feared and respected, and for pilots, the view from the cockpit was unforgettable. The earth stretched endlessly below, the horizon curving at the edges, and the rush of air shaking the frame. It wasn't just flying, it was pure freedom, a perspective few ever experience. Inside the cockpit, the pilot's perspective was one of constant focus. Gauges flickering, oxygen mask tightened, radio chatter filling their ears. This was the environment where survival depended on every decision. At high altitudes, clouds spread like oceans beneath them, and the MiG-21 became a spear piercing the skies. Pilots often described the feeling as both terrifying and exhilarating, a balance of fear and thrill that only strengthened their connection to the aircraft. But the MiG-21 was not just about smooth flights. It was born for combat, and in the heat of a dogfight, it proved why it earned such a fearsome reputation. Imagine two jets twisting through the sky, trails carving arcs across the heavens, engines screaming at full power. The MiG-21's agility made it a formidable opponent, and pilots relied on split-second reflexes to outmaneuver enemies. These moments defined the jet's legacy in countless conflicts, from the Cold War to regional wars where it became a symbol of defense and pride. Not every mission was solo, however. Many flights saw squadrons of MiG-21 soaring together in formation, their precision a testament to both engineering and training. For a pilot, flying in such harmony with others was one of the most treasured experiences, a display of discipline, unity, and trust. Against dramatic cloudscapes, these formations looked almost like choreography, steel wings painting patterns in the sky. After such intense flights, the return to the ground carried its own emotion. The landing, the taxi back to the hangar, and finally removing the helmet often left pilots physically drained but mentally alive. The sweat on their faces, the pounding of their hearts, and the sight of the MiG-21 cooling under the sun reminded them of the thin line between survival and loss. These were the moments where the bond between human and machine felt most personal. The ground crew also played their part in this story. Refueling, checking every bolt, and ensuring the MiG-21 was combat-ready again was as vital as the pilot's skill. On the runway, with mechanics surrounding it, the MiG-21 looked less like a weapon and more like a trusted teammate receiving care before the next challenge. These behind-the-scenes efforts created a rhythm of life around the jet, one that every pilot appreciated deeply. In the hangar, under dramatic lighting, the MiG-21 took on a different presence, quiet, still, but powerful in its silence. Shadows played across its wings, and even in rest, it carried the aura of a predator waiting to strike. For many pilots, walking into a hangar and seeing their aircraft waiting there was a reminder of both the responsibilities they carried and the pride they felt. Some of the most memorable flights were not in combat but in moments of peace. Flying over deserts at sunset, with golden light reflecting off the fuselage, the MiG-21 seemed less like a machine of war and more like a work of art in motion. These images stayed with pilots forever, symbols of why they loved flying even in the shadow of danger. Even close-up details of the jet carried meaning. The nose cone, the canopy, the scratches and dents, these marks told the history of missions flown, challenges overcome, and years of service. To the outside world, these were imperfections; to a pilot, they were badges of honor. Every MiG-21 had its own personality, its own story etched into its frame. Time, however, always moves forward. Many MiG-21s now rest in museums, their once mighty engines silent. Pilots, older and wiser, sometimes sit beside these preserved aircraft, reflecting on their youth. For them, the MiG-21 is more than a relic, it is a symbol of identity, a reminder of what they achieved and what they risked. The nostalgia in their eyes tells the story better than any history book could. And finally, imagine one last flight. A MiG-21 soaring into the horizon at sunset, its silhouette cutting across the fading light. For the pilot, this vision is not just about flying away but about carrying the legacy of the aircraft forever. The MiG-21 remains one of the most produced and respected fighter jets in history, and for those who lived with it, it was truly precious and powerful. The story of the MiG-21 is not only about aviation technology or war, it is about the deep bond between man and machine, about courage, sacrifice, and memories that last a lifetime. And that is why, even decades later, the MiG-21 continues to hold a special place in the heart of aviation. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of the MiG-21 and the pilots who lived with it, make sure to stay tuned for more stories here on Project Aviate, where we bring history, technology,